Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God.
Waymaker, key of B. Sometimes we struggle when the chords just repeat over and over again and they seem to have no direction. I saw Lauren Dawson play this song. I really like how he did it. We're going to do it today in 3 levels. We're going to give you guys ideas on both approach and what you can do with a song like this. Okay, so first thing we want to do before we even start is just get the basic chords out the way. It's just 4 chords, and since we're in the key of B, the first chord is an E, which is the 4. The second chord is a B major 7, which is a 1. The third chord is a G flat major 7, or just a G flat. And then That Is Who You Are is going to be an A minor. So we're going to be kind of talking about these, and I find it helpful to start with the bass note. What is the bass note doing? So if you're a bass player watching this, I think you're going to like this video because it's going to kind of show you how bass players work with keyboardists. And so the first thing we're going to do in this first level, we don't change the bass note at all. The bass note's going to stay the same. We're just going to change our approaches. So when we talk about the first chord, see, that's the first chord. Right? That's an approach. You can do this to the second chord. I revoiced that third chord. Right? And then we have an approach for the fourth chord. And so each of these are changing, but the bass note's not changing. For that first one, instead of just playing a regular E and you're wanting to do something different and you're wanting to give it just a little bit more, I'm going like this. Or something like that really works. This will give you a little bit more. So what we're doing here is we've got that E in the pinky in the left hand. We've got this D flat and this B flat walking down to this A flat and this C sharp walking down to a B. Like that. And then as we approach the second chord, which is the B, I kind of go like this. Right, which is a nice little thing there. What's actually happening there is I got an F sharp 13 sus chord, and it's really just moving these middle notes down 1/2 steps. So it's really a 5-1. I talk about this in my progression theory on my website, where about how to approach chords. So we have this Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Now I changed this fourth chord, which is the G flat, which is just a chord like this. We could play that like this, right? So all it's doing here is it's taking this G major chord and it's taking the middle note and putting it at the bottom. But I'm playing an expanded. Okay, that is who you are. Now for that one, I'm approaching an A flat. Now remember, the bass guy is not changing, but I'm going. Right now, what's happening is if I'm approaching an A flat minor, right, I can approach that from its 5, right? This is what my approach chart tells us. And so just this is melodic, meaning I have a melody that's approaching this. And I'm actually kind of using this kind of sound. Right, that's kind of whole half scale there, but I'm kind of putting a melody on top of that. I'm playing it rootless, so it sounds like this. And this is all leads to my A flat major. Go slow here. Right. So if I play that whole thing from the beginning so you can hear that first one here. See that? And it sounds really nice. Now let me go to the second one, because in the second one we're going to keep the first 2 bass notes the same, but we're going to change the bass notes slightly. So the first bass is going to be Waymaker, miracles. That's the same. And then we'll go to the 1, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Now, instead of going to the 5 here, we're going to go to the 3. My God, that is who you are. What are we doing here? Yeah, let's go to the 5 there, and we'll put a 13 sus there. All right, so. And this is the one that Lauren Dawson kind of played, so I'm going to kind of let you hear how that sounds here.
That is who you are. I hear you already.
So here's the second one. Here we go.
Waymaker,
approach chord here. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a different style there. Chords a little bit different. So now what happened is that first chord is the same, right? And since I already did, you want to do that each time, so we kind of play that full on that first time. But then when you get to this B, we're approaching this B from a half step up, and I'm using this chord here, like that. So it'll be Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper. And then remember, I told you we're replacing the G with an E flat. Okay, so we're approaching this E flat from its 5, which is a B flat, and we're using a sharp 9 sharp 5 chord here, like that. And so to get to that, okay, how it sounds, Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, we're gonna walk down to the 3, right? And then, which is our E flat minor, and then that, what did I do there? Who you are, all right? These are actually 1305 chords. See my 1305 passing class on my website. We talk about how to kind of use these in context. So remember that helps me to hear things when I understand what the context is, because I know that 1305 chords are used mostly in a passing chords context. Okay, so again, let's talk that through. Let's play that second one, talk it through for you.
Is who you are.
Okay, so let's try that.
I hear you already singing it. Come on and say it. Waymaker, Waymaker,
The passing. Walk down to the E flat minor. Walk a passing chord. And then on R, I'm using that 13 sus, which is an E major 7 chord over the F sharp. Now, what did we do to the third one? This is bass players. This is where you come in. So you heard that change, right? That we did in that second one. We changed the last 2. Bass players, we're going to change. Let's change almost the whole thing now. Instead of starting on the 4, let's start on the 2. So Waymaker, miracle, let's walk up to that 1. Promise keeper, light in the darkness. Let's go to the 5 here. My God, that is, we're totally changing it now. That is who you are, and we can still walk up to the 6. Just gonna, again, giving you guys ideas. So if you're playing with a band, you don't have to do these exact changes, but you do, have a little bit of things you can change within the context of the vocals. Make sure you let the band know. So on this last one, we're gonna go Waymaker. So we're gonna have a C minor 9 here, and then you're gonna have promise keeper, light in the darkness, and now you're gonna hit this F sharp 13, so it's a little bit early. My God, that is who you. I don't want to end in an A flat. Let's end on a C sharp, like that. So let's see if that works. So
Come on, let the Lord hear you. And we say,
so we have the C sharp here. Walk up to the
promise keeper, yeah.
Now we're gonna have an F sharp 13 sus here.
My God.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so that works. So again, so for that first chord, we have this C sharp, and then we have this, right? So it's C sharp minor chord, and then this is just really an E flat minor. See, it's promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, right? And then you have this 13 sus here. I just did an approach there. That is, I don't like this chord here because it's in the way of my next chord. My next chord, these are some of the kind of notes. I don't know if I would have that A flat on top there. Light in the darkness. My God, that is who you. See, I didn't want that chord, that last chord to clash with this too much. And then R right there. I gotta let my ear carry the changes through, right? Remember, I tell you guys, your ear isn't for finding out chords. You use your ear to help you determine changes that you want to make, and whether those changes, whether you think they're going to be appropriate for the song. That's the right way to use your ear. So I have this on Logic here, and so what I'll do is I'm going to send you guys to a place where you can see the chords that I have. You guys can grab those if you want. So check the link in the description. Cause man, I love songs like this. They are difficult, but if you know the rules,